So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers around the globe, and welcome to another series of Intimate Conversations with your host, Mandy Horton. And if you feel compelled to push that subscribe button down there, that would be amazing. I would appreciate it very much. And on the show today, we have Simone Antunovic all the way from Croatia. And welcome, Simone. Been a
Thank
while.
you. Thank you, Mandy.
Yeah, it's been a little
Yeah,
while
here we
since
are
we've had a
again.
chat.
It has it has been a little while, and here we are, and time just flies, as we know these days.
Yeah,
So
it does.
yeah, here we are.
It's
My nighttime, your morning.
yeah, and it's at that time where you just sort of don't even know what day we're in half the time, eh? It's like having to really check
Oh
schedules
yeah.
and make
Oh
sure
yeah. Oh yeah.
got it logged in.
Absolute. And it's the schedule is a little more taxing possibly than it used to be as well. Like you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
because of these times and because of shifting timeline and stuff and energies and what we're being hit with, it's like sometimes, there is that moment that we need to pause a little bit
mm,
more, I feel.
definitely
Yeah.
that. I've been
Yeah.
taking time out for me. It's so nice. It feels like
Good
I
for
have a real
you.
balance. It's really
Good
nice
for
at the
you.
moment.
Good for
So
you. Oh, I
we're just,
love that.
I hope it
And
plays
you've got
out.
summer.
Yeah, we've
Yeah, of
got,
course it
oh
will.
my God, it's been the best summer. It's lovely. So
Good.
hot, really hot.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
just going to read your little bio here, just to introduce you to people
Perfect.
in case they don't know who you are. So Simone guides beautiful awakening souls going through massive transformation during a challenging yet hugely empowering time on our planet and within the cosmic landscape. Excuse me, known as a trailblazer by her peers and clients alike, Simone approaches her awakening teachings, quantum energy healing, and intuitive coaching work with a bird's eye view perspective and practical, grounded spiritual guidance. Simone shares through her own journey multidimensional knowledge and understanding around the shift in consciousness and call to awaken as a collective humanity that we find ourselves in this very now moment. She's hugely passionate about truth and empowerment and solutions to transform lives. Simone is a certified holistic healer and coach, awakening life coach, Theta healer, practitioner, Pilates, and functional wellness have also consumed a large part of her working life, and she is heading back to teaching in that space, plus hosting retreats. Also known for her business communications, nous, she's helped many find their story and articulate it. Simone runs multiple healing and coaching programs for a wide array of international clients, and in 2021 wrote her signature ebook, The Awakening, A Greater Perspective for eager souls seeking answers. Her new evergreen course, Awakening Mystery Mentorship, launched last December, is her latest piece of inspired magic. Damn.
Yeah. Which,
Very
which,
cool.
yes, which apologies. My website's being redone, so it's currently unavailable. But whoopsie. No, we'll get there.
All
We'll
good,
get
eh?
there.
And
All good.
I don't even know how many people use website today. It's like
I don't
basically
even
seems
know.
to be socials are the thing, aren't they?
Yeah, socials, Instagram, and over here, Facebook, yeah, and word of mouth.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
most of what I'm doing in this space is actually just one-on-one client work.
Yeah,
That's my baby. That's my
yeah.
passion.
That's
So
me too. And it
yeah,
is word of
yeah,
mouth. And it's great when when you have that sort of rapport with your clients or make that sort of rapport, they do pass you on. It's really
they
lovely.
do. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
Simone, first question to get the ball rolling is
Okay, righto.
were you a aware conscious child?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
How's the
In
dynamics in your family with that though?
Well, actually, me and my two sisters are quite similar, which is perfect. We came in I guess originally in those days, I mean, I'm sort of a mid to late 1970s baby, and in those days, it's that sort of warrior essence is how I came in, with that kind of defiance against the system, and
Yes.
being Croatian by blood, sort of being raised technically Catholic, and then deciding that heck no, at age 12, I wasn't going to follow suit on certain aspects, and made myself quite clear and what my reasons were, and yeah, and made myself clear to my parents, who were pretty open-minded. So they accepted it, and they knew what they had brought into this world. And I guess so, yeah. So, and just my gift is that the bird's eye view. It's the knowingness, it's seeing the bigger picture, and it will drop in and I just know. And that started very young. Obviously, it's developed as time goes by, and I've developed my gifts, but 100% that feeling of being a child that wasn't quite of I didn't quite suit the matrix or the system as much as, maybe some people, just kind of a free spirit. You catch my drift. I think we're possibly similar in that space.
Absolutely. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's an interesting, like, I mean, I can't say I didn't struggle as a kid with it all, because
Agreed.
I didn't have anyone around me that could see that that was me and all of that. I mean, my parents were wonderful, and they were
Hmm.
very open and
Hmm.
open-minded, and there was a free flow structure, which was really
Hmm.
cool. So I
Hmm.
just managed to flow with that and be in that.
Yeah.
But there wasn't, when things were happening, which were quite frightening at times, I didn't have anyone I could go to at all,
Yeah,
so
that's hard. That's
yeah.
hard.
So I
Yeah.
suppose that had that
Mm.
support and that
Yeah,
you were
it
saying.
has been to this day, to have that, because it's not normal. There's normally sort of a black sheep situation in the family, isn't
Yeah,
there? And it's not normal to have come through in one family that kind of similarity in
mm,
understand and what we we'll have different things and different
yes,
gifts or
yeah,
different whatever,
different
but there's
people.
not, yeah, totally, but there's no, oh, no, none of that. No, because
Yeah,
it's no, fully. And obviously, possibly, like, our parents were supportive in that, but then also there were certain things that, of course, they didn't understand. And, it's the same thing that we see nowadays when there are parents that are stuck in indoctrinated belief systems, or just not understanding the transition we're going through right now, and therefore their kids are being born, they're coming through with gifts and all sorts of stuff, and they just don't really know how to handle them, and so they get
exactly.
labeled,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, it can be a struggle for sure. There's
it can be.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's huge. Yeah.
so when you were at school, like
Mhm.
did were you accepted that way at school? Did any of that
No.
stuff come out? It's
I wasn't accepted. Look, it's a it's that stuff, and it's also the fact that, you know, back in those days and growing up in New Zealand, it was multicultural, but possibly not as multicultural as it is now there.
yeah.
And so, and there are specific traits, like being pretty hard-headed and direct, and kind of maybe a bit rambunctious, that comes with the territory of this place, this is my bloodline where I live now. But also, particularly me, out of all the three girls, I was the most headstrong. Just I couldn't accept the status quo, and
Yeah,
I've struggled with it. I couldn't do the work the way they wanted me to do it. I couldn't be the way they wanted me to be. It went against everything, and it's like you're just standing on my spirit and just crushing it, and it's like, I don't get this. It was a
no,
struggle. School was not fun for me. It wasn't a fun
no,
place.
me either. I had
No.
there were times,
There were friendships and there were fun things, and
absolutely, and
of
we
course,
sort of
but
went for them though, but not
we
actually
are
for the
fully
schooling itself. I couldn't stand
no,
it either. I just thought this
no,
is so not the way it's supposed to be, and I wasn't sure how it was meant to be anyway, but I knew
no,
this wasn't me. It didn't fit me.
no,
Nothing that I
no,
could see
no.
in society other than because I'm a 58 born,
Yeah.
other than growing up in community that were really about community and
Yeah.
family, that was a really
Yes.
beautiful time. And seeing
Yes.
that, how that really got distorted over all the many years of
Yes.
families just splitting and breaking up and
Oh,
communities breaking up. And now
purposeful
we're sort of
destruction.
starting to come back again. And that
Mm-hmm.
there is what I can see is it really warms my heart to know, you know, that the children are being watched by many other people, not just mum and dad. They're being looked after by others, you know, communities coming back in, because there's been such a it's been so fragmented, and there's
Mm-hmm.
and more criminal stuff's come through because of it,
Mm-hmm.
that it's got to a point where people are going, actually, this isn't any good anymore. We've got to do something about this, and they're starting to pull back together, which I
That's lovely,
love,
isn't it?
because
Yeah, it is. It's great.
yeah.
And to pull that out a bit, that's how it is here, right? Because this is the culture. So downstairs, just downstairs from me here, I live on the second floor. Live on the second floor. Anyway, no, and there's a, yeah. And down the bottom is, you know, the guy, the older guy who owns the apartment block. Anyway, long story. This is how it is. Like, there's the old people are watching the kids. The kids are playing around. No great playground, nothing fancy, just in the Olive Grove there or whatever on the swing over there. And then the people in between age group have kind of gone out to work or whatever, or it's mixed. But that's kind of how it feels living here still. So you can see those Western, I call them those, it's coming in, it's EU now, and there's the, you know, online, and the kids are in their phones more, and there's more of that sort of toxic coming in. However, it is halted by this really strong foundational family structure and community structure, and they bond together. You know, like, for example, they did a boycott of the supermarkets because the prices are too high. So they did a boycott. Oh, everybody followed the boycott. I feel like there
Wow.
was probably like one person in the super, like they do that naturally. That's an organic thing still. So hopefully that remains, because it's a part of the culture. And obviously there are things that creep in. But
Yeah.
the family, you can see there's been family breakdown. There are divorces. I'm not saying, of course there are. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of toxic and trauma and all the stuff like you get everywhere. But there's a lot of everybody in the community being involved. Everyone knows each other. It's that
Yes.
old way. So that is very relevant still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really lovely.
Hmm.
I think
It
it's
is.
such an important thing, and humanity really lost it. But again,
Oh,
you know, we're building, as we're terming it, the new world, you know, the
of
new earth.
course.
And
Oh, it's
we're
beautiful.
bringing, I know, and we're bringing all that beautiful quality back in. And
Yep.
I believe humanity, being,
Yep.
you know, human,
Yeah.
and
Being human.
actually
Yeah.
feeling compassion for our neighbors and our, you know, the people in our lives and all the things. Yeah, pretty
Absolutely.
cool.
Yeah,
Mm,
being luminous beings. And but then we can also bring in all those other elements, like the realms that we work with, you know,
yeah,
the deeper understanding of multi-realm and all the stuff that's going on now. And it we can even deepen that and make
yeah,
that even better than it was before, you know. And I
yeah.
think that's the exciting part. It
Me
feels
too.
like sometimes you're trying to push a mountain aside, but you just leave it, let it go, let it come when it's supposed to. My whole life's been like that, so I don't
Me
worry
too.
about what other people are doing. Yeah, right. You know, it's
Yeah.
like what other people are doing. They're where they are, and it's okay. And you
Mm,
just, yeah,
mm,
yeah.
yeah.
You just kind of,
And I learned that over years of not having that, doing that, you know, but learning that actually when you know, if you think energetically, you're pushing against, and it's creating friction rather than,
Mhm.
you know, and I get that sometimes, you know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm just in the flow, you know. That too
Mm.
can be sometimes a cop out, which I
Yes, it
find,
can.
you know,
Yes, it
it's
can. I
that
know what you mean.
sort
Yep.
of
Yeah.
procrastination in the sense of, oh, I'm
Yep.
in the flow. But so
Yeah.
getting that
Yeah.
balance, but it is yeah, there's some really cool things happening in the world today that are
Oh, there are.
spiraling it into this new earth
Yeah.
that we're
Yeah.
creating,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
cool.
It is really cool. It's exciting. Yeah, very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Exciting projects and ways of being,
For sure.
shifting, shifting.
And do you like when you so retreats, Simone, you've put some of them together, or you just
I
did?
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing so much of it at the moment, but I do over the summer here. So there could be retreats or workshops, and generally they're centered around wellness and well-being. And I mix in my somatic Pilates, so they get movement. There could be some awakening teachings. You know, healing meditations, healing breath work, a combination of things like that, and just bringing your energy to the field. And obviously here we have a season, it's seasonal. So I find that the type of people that are interested in wellness and that tend to come, early season, late season, pretty much that's it. And in the middle, you just get bombarded with tourism. July and August is just crazy. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's very seasonal because we live down on the coast of Dalmatia. So it's seasonal with tourists, and it's still busy now, but this is our winter time. So, it changes. So yeah, so I just kind of
Oh,
I like workshops as well. Workshops are fun, and it's just about and working with other people,
yeah.
combine working with other practitioners and coming together and delivering something. So, I mean,
Beautiful.
I've done quite a lot of that in my time, and
It's
yeah, I enjoy
changing,
it.
eh?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
changing, all of it's changing.
It is. It is. It
Sort
is.
of,
It's like, do we vibe? Yeah, okay, let's pull this together. It's
yeah,
creating realities and shifting. It's not so regimented, isn't it? Like
no,
everything. I
yeah,
mean,
it's freeing up, isn't it? I
it
think,
is
and
freeing up.
people are accepting people a lot more. I don't know, in this realm anyway. I know
Yeah, on this
outside
realm
of
for
that,
sure.
it's very
Yeah, for
much
sure.
divisional, and there's
There's
a lot of
yeah, of course, but for those that are there, the energies and the stuff is supporting it.
yeah,
They're able to heal faster, I think too.
yes,
I think people are starting to be able to, I don't know about in your work, I'm finding that, I mean, I've been working a lot here with the DNA lines and ancestral, and which is
mm,
obviously why I was called, part of the reason why I was called back here. I mean, obviously for a number of reasons, but that has come to the foreground, and it's very interesting. And you start to witness the trauma in the land, and you start to see how these things are,
no,
woo wee, it's big. It's
yes.
big,
It's so big. And
yeah.
you realize, like I was just watching this documentary. Oh my God. It was a series of about 5 series or 4 series, I'm not sure exactly. And they put it
Yeah,
all together as in one big long movie, and it's
yeah,
called The Century of
yeah.
Self. And it was
Mm.
about how Freud, Freud, who did
Right, yeah,
this, yeah. So
yeah.
his information was taken, he shared it with his nephew, who was Edward Simone. I always forget his last name. Anyway, this man was the man that said we could use this. Like he never thought one-on-one, he always thought mass. And he thought we can use this information now to start programming.
Mm.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, that's where it started. And that was only
Mm-hmm.
a century ago. And I'm sitting
Mm-hmm.
back going, oh my God, I thought we had been programmed with this way of being forever, amen. Right. And
No.
and in
Mm,
the
mm,
sense of our
mm,
human creation, and when at first, because we hear about all the splicing and the reptilian stuff and how it all
Yeah, yeah,
interferes,
yeah, yeah.
all of that's a
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
But this guy, when I looked at this, I'm going, oh my God, because I've always known we can shift it, we can change it. That's a
Of
lot of
course.
the work that I do is helping and
Yep,
assisting people like you to help move them
yep,
out of
yep,
and transmute all that patterning and the ancestral
yeah.
lines and DNA stuff,
Oh
all the
man.
things.
Mm.
But when
Yeah,
I looked at this, I was like, oh my God, gave me a renewed zoom, boom. Was like,
yeah,
oh my God, this is
yeah,
only 100 years this has been going. We
yeah,
could
yeah,
absolutely wipe this out right now.
yeah, totally,
And
totally,
when I
totally.
got where it started and how he
Yeah.
programmed, because he realized that everyone suppressed emotion, like everyone
Mm-hmm.
got
Mm-hmm.
on with their life, but they'd come
Mm-hmm.
through some heavy trauma, but they didn't
Mm-hmm.
process
Mm-hmm.
it. So
Mm-hmm.
he decided it was all around marketing mainly, but
Mm.
he was saying for us to sell something, we need to connect with their emotion. So therefore,
Yes.
he started switching the marketing ploy and how
Yeah.
it all worked. It was so interesting. I mean, through
Yeah.
the different stages of how that was all programmed and how we were programmed. And oh my God,
It's
centering of the self
mm,
is the thing.
it is
It's
good,
amazing.
interesting. And
Mm,
it's all a very elaborate mind control.
yeah,
A very elaborate mind control program.
it is.
And gosh, that could be a whole other conversation, which you could talk about for a really long time.
Yeah, for
Yeah, because
sure.
it's
It's
fascinating to witness all the layers. And then you see the different cultural indoctrinated patterns and all the different constructs that have come in
yes,
and control the system, politics, schooling. Oh, we could go into the whole thing and how it's all
absolutely.
been to
Yeah,
dehumanize or
yeah,
transhumanize the human. Dehumanized before, and I think now it's transhumanized. Now it's
yes.
about AI and transhumanism. So
There's
this is just it's all very it's a interesting experiment,
it's
whichever way you look at it.
so interesting. Like actually,
Right?
and once you start
Mm-hmm.
actually looking into it, I know it blows your mind open and it
Mm,
really like
mm,
you just want to shut down and go away and
mhm,
hibernate somewhere else and not be
mhm,
a part of it all. But
mhm,
when you actually
mm,
understand how it's been done, you can
mm,
start
mm.
undoing it all. It's like it's
Yeah,
such an
of
easy
course.
thing to do. That's what we've come
Knowledge is
in here
power.
to do. Yes, it
Too
is.
totally, and it's
Yeah.
power, and it's like, and when you've come in that young, being a bit knowing of what I didn't know but I knew something wasn't what they told us. Like I
Yeah.
just knew, and and I think when you've come in that way, then it's easier it's okay, no, it's harder in some ways to operate in this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
However, it's easier for us to be able to see all this and still sit here and go la la la, because not in a la 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 disconnected, we're bypassing. No, hell no. It's like you do heaps of work, you do that, but it's like you've come to a point you recognize that our souls as ensouled
Mm,
human beings is
mm.
more powerful, are more powerful than
Yeah,
anything that a lower vibration can throw at us. We can't
absolutely.
there's no you can transcend anything. We're in a
Mm,
cycle of completion now, right? So you can
yeah.
transcend all these old that's what we're doing right now. And it's like a lot of us are here to close the loop, I call it, which is like, you know what I mean? And it's just
Totally.
oh, it's big stuff. Like I had a really big year last year and I was like, what is this? And now this year
Oh,
I'm like, aha, okay, switch.
I
Yeah. Hmm.
last year
Pivot.
was like, what the hell?
Disaster.
Everyone was like,
Disaster.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
But
remember my
good.
daughter posted a meme. It was so good, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
oh, what a year this week's been. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
that's
Bang
so
on.
it.
Bang on.
Did make me giggle.
Honestly.
But
I
this
just oh
this
yeah.
coming into 2025,
Oh,
like, oh my
completely
God, I've
different.
just hit the ground running. We all have. I think
Yeah.
everyone has.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
And it's
ready. It's
alive and
like we
it's
are ready and it's prepared. We've been preparing. And
yes, we have
this
been
is
preparing.
that
Yeah.
completion and that closing of the
Yes.
loop. And oh my God,
Yes.
you
It's
can
like the
feel it.
last little dribbly bits of the caca just kind of over
Yes,
there. They're just kind
totally.
of they're kind of lingering, but they're going. And then
Yes.
now we're here and we're like, right, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels. It's a
Transformation.
transforming and being able to really play in the quantum field and just and really start shifting with the energies and creating reality and just really starting to uh I always used to wonder why I couldn't manifest properly, or sometimes I could manifest easily, but then there was other, and now it's like, well, it's not about the manifesting, it's actually about so many other things that go into that anyway.
Yeah.
But it's the energies are aligning with they're aligning with that flow now. I felt like last year was the year of what's the word, trying to find your power and being like squished and it's like whoa, and this year is about
Yeah.
it's opening up. Okay, it's like, because personally I had to close out some stuff that was not even just mine, like it's collective and old. It was around finances, and then there was stuff around ancestral and whoo-wee. And it was
Yeah.
a big year. It was hard, and it
Yeah.
really was hard in the 3D, right? How it
Yeah.
came through. But then, now I
For
look at it and go,
sure.
oh, yeah,
God.
it's shifting. It's cool. It's flow. It's
It's
good.
exciting
Mm.
because you can
Yeah.
really feel like what you're really desiring and maybe always have desired for your life, for you here as this beautiful human we are and this
Mhm,
gorgeousness that we are in it.
mhm,
And
mhm.
it's like now we can actually feel it actually really starting to be that. Like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
buzz. It's so
yeah,
buzzy because you
yeah,
just
it is.
like, oh my God, we've got green light. It's a green light. Let's
Yeah,
run.
yes,
You know?
yes, it is. It is. It's
Yeah.
very, we're being more supported now.
Mm,
It's just, I don't know, but it feels more. I mean, for me, I felt a switch. I made a decision and felt a switch. Actually, it was around Christmas time. It was pre-Christmas, in our calendar, but
yeah.
it was just I just felt something, and I went, no, I'm kind of closing that out. I'm done with that. Da, 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 da. And then just since then, it's just spiraled. It's just spiraled, and
Yeah.
it's things have come about that I wanted to come about, and doing it in a different way. So I found that really interesting. I've
Yeah.
really, really practiced something that I thought I'd practiced, but I hadn't really. And it was like, yeah, really, really stepping away, even when, the external looks pretty, you know, and
Yeah.
then, but just having that real deep trust in a whole other way. And, and it's been quite transforming. So,
Exactly. And it is
yeah.
that's the key to this. And, you
Mm,
know, a lot of people are in a limbo space where they've, there's no
yeah.
past still hanging on or playing out so much in their life.
Sure,
Still
sure.
might be around them, but it's not dragging
No,
back in.
yeah,
And yet there's nothing forward that's coming up at the moment either. And they're sitting in that limbo of, I don't know what the hell I'm up to. I have no idea what I'm doing from here on
yeah,
in. And
yeah.
it isn't, and it's sort of an unnerving space because we're not used to being in that sort of space. But
No.
but what we really,
Uncertainty. Mm.
need to do in that is trust. Just trust that
Mm,
if this
yeah.
little step shows up, then take that step and that step
Yes.
will show you where to go from there.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not going to see maybe the full picture right
No,
now,
no,
but because who
no.
knows, we're creating this now. It's what
Exactly.
you want to
We
experience.
have to be, and we have to be okay with the unknown.
Yeah,
Like, I
for
think
sure.
this is what this time is teaching us. And I mean, gosh, when we were young, we were like that,
Yeah,
but I mean, just as a general human soul, being fully okay with the unknown. But because, okay, look, they're crumbling the economy, they're doing all these things. So the typical jobs that you might get can't get as easily. Oh
yes,
my gosh, how do I make ends meet? They're upping the prices. So there's all those 3D concerns. But then
yeah,
around that, as that sort of starts to, there's this magic. There's this
mhm,
magic of people coming together, things coming together, things starting to really work out.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 They
I
are.
love that. They
I
are.
love it
It's
too.
there. It's
Because there was
there.
so many years where you felt like you were just bashing your head against a brick wall, a lot of
Oh,
the time. And it was
fully.
so tiring. It was like, oh
It
my
is.
God, why am
It's
I even doing
draining.
this? Like,
I know. I know. It's like I'm
oh,
compelled, but it sucks.
yeah,
Yeah, that sort of feeling. Yes,
yeah,
I know. And always being that person that's the catalyst and you can't
yeah.
help it.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
like, I don't always want to be that. Like I just want to just chill, but
I know. I was coming into
but
that last year. It was like, I'm over being the catalyst for people to be hurt, to learn something. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't
yeah.
actually want to come in to another
Mm,
life to play that out again. I don't want that.
no,
And I
I'm
don't know
with you on
how
that.
we get out of that. But anyway, it's feeling like it's shifting. We don't have to.
Uh, I think it is. Yeah, I really feel it is. I really feel it is. I just, and that's why this particular life has been so interesting,
Yeah.
and how we've come in at this time and stuff. It's quite, yeah. Mm.
So, Simone, in I think I'm wanting to say culturally in Croatia,
Mm. Hmm.
can you see the feminine rising there at all? Like, is there a shift for
Hmm.
you? Is there anything
Very
that
different
we
than the
can,
West.
yes, let,
The
I'd love you
West
to
have
say.
been, the West have been targeted through this latest series of world events. Okay,
Mhm.
last 5 years. The
Yeah.
West has been more targeted. We're in a funny position here because we're EU, but we're Balkan. but we're former Yugoslavia. So we've had wars, we've had poverty. The last war only finished 30 years ago or so. No, not
Yeah.
even. Whatever, something like that. Not
Yeah.
even. And so it's really interesting. This is culturally the masculine and the feminine are really masculine and feminine. Okay. What that means though is that the feminine rising, not really, not really. I can't explain it. It's sort of like this part of the country as well has missed all that stuff a little bit that's been going on globally. And it's just operating in the status quo.
Yeah.
Yet they're shifting. Could I say, I wouldn't call it the feminine rising. I feel like they have very, very strong, it's quite traditional, it's Catholic, okay?
Yeah, I was
So
going to
there's,
say it's the tradition,
yeah,
like that.
the gender understanding is man and woman is woman, right? There hasn't been the sort of heavy, there's been implants, there's like the toxic playing out in both those aspects, but it's in a different way than in the West. It's because it's intergenerational trauma from poverty and war and stuff, and it's just all this old belief systems, right? Whereas in the
Yeah.
West, it's just been targeted and hit, and they've been targeting men to try and feminize them through all sorts of different warfare, from everything, right? Estrogen in the water, whatever, you name it, like, and then targeting women through the whole, you know, back in the day when it was, quit being a stay-at-home mom and go and work, and then she's kind of running around like crazy, and then there's this masculine aspect. So there's all these different things that played out in the West that haven't played out here. Because
Yeah.
30 years ago, they were in a civil war. They were in the EU for what? Since 2013, I think. So whatever, like it's not, so yes, there will be elements of that playing through. There's a lot of very awake people here. Very awake. But because so many of them are quite awake,
Yeah.
they've always kind of risen from the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. Like I just said, the boycott, but we're not going. So they do that
Yeah, that's
anyway.
nice.
I can't, but at the same time, there are some what maybe people from the West would consider quite possibly backward understandings to the way that the male role is played out, the feminine, the masculine and the feminine, but they're not backward. They're actually just, the women are very feminine, the men are very masculine. It's very
Yeah.
organic.
And because and there was a conversation we had at another time
Okay,
that
go on. Yeah,
it was like how the masculine supported the feminine though.
they do. They
Yeah,
do.
explain that because that was really beautiful to me. It was like,
Yeah, I'm
wow.
trying to remember what I said.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well,
It's
I
like
feel it's
um
strong. What did I say? Explain to me a bit more
oh
because it
yeah,
was
no, I'm trying to remember how it was, but and it's
mm,
because of the tradition, but what they do is they really support the feminine in her role.
yeah, yes.
And there's
She
not
is the queen of the house, and and yeah, there is a natural protective that's possibly been stripped from many men, but they have it here. There's a
right, that's
protectiveness of the woman. There's a protectiveness and a uh understanding, an old understanding of what a woman is, as opposed to the modern mechanicalized kind of, she's got to be everything, and they sort of don't
yeah.
seem to need to be here. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
yet
love
they're,
that.
yeah, and in the home it might appear like the old generation above me, it might appear that the man's in charge. No, the woman she's the matriarch, and
Yeah.
she's the matriarch of that entire family. That's a very solid, I think that's probably the same in Italy too, but that is a very solid reality here. Yeah, she's very important fixture, that older
Yeah.
generation, the mother,
Because
the
the
woman.
role
Yeah,
of
yeah.
masculine or the men was,
Hmm.
years and years, is that
Hmm.
they were to protect land, woman, and children. And that
That's right.
when we were talking about it, it felt like that for me with Croatian men.
They
That
still do it.
they were
They
really
do.
in that role, and that's what's been
Well,
brought
they had to till quite recently. So,
totally, yeah.
mm,
And I
you
love
know,
that
and
though,
that, yeah, I love it
because
too. It's like
it's
everybody
not
protects the
here.
children.
We had to actually
No, I
really
know it's not. I know it's not.
protect ourselves from men. You know, they dropped
I
out of that
know.
role, and it's
Oh,
sad.
I know. And I know. And of course, bad things happen everywhere. There's violence everywhere in that.
Yeah,
But there is not, do you know, it's interesting. They don't, a lot of violence in the way that of random violence, you know, when you violence against an external person, not into family, not gang stuff, not that.
yeah,
When somebody, you know how in New Zealand you might go out and they attack someone in their home and they might rape or kill or in their, that is just not done. That sort of random stuff
no,
like that is
yeah,
not a thing. It's also quite predominantly still Croatian. Yes, we've got a mixed culture, but it's a lot, and everyone, almost like everyone almost knows each other, or they might know your family, or they might know. So
mm,
this whole, you would attack the concept of, okay, I walk down the street in Split, for example, when it's not tourist season, when it's just mainly, you know, locals, whatever. I could be 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night by myself and not in any way, shape, or form feel like my
second.
threatened or my femininity will be challenged, or like whatever. There could be a group of four guys standing across the road talking
Wow,
away.
that's so cool.
I wouldn't ever be concerned. I mean, I got a sharp whatever because of we've been raised in the West, but
Yeah,
I just don't, they just don't. And it's interesting because more traditional in the way that they are as women and men and that, but we don't have all that. And I'm going, okay. So start observe all these different things, you know, because everything,
yeah,
every culture and every country has good and bad. Don't get me wrong, it has pros and cons, and
mm,
you know, and there's some modern aspects that I miss about the West, you know, about being, you know, in New Zealand or Australia, whatever, because there's you know aspects that you're used to. But I do love this. I do love the way that you feel like a woman. I feel like a woman here.
yes,
Okay, if I'm
that's
honest,
sort of what I felt from it when we were having that conversation. And the
I
other
do.
thing too is that because the families know the families, right? There's the old,
There's a link. Hmm.
you know, bloodlines that are still sitting and being. And
Oh
so
yeah,
if you
strong.
were attacked, say, you know,
Hmm.
by for whatever reason,
Hmm.
that would
Hmm.
be a slight on all of your line.
Thank
You know,
you.
your
Well, the person
whole,
that did it, yes.
yes,
And then you've got to remember that this is, you know, then that person that got attacked, brothers, cousins, uncles, whatever,
exactly. The whole
are going
family
to
is
hunt you
going to feel
down.
attacked.
They're
Yes,
going to hunt you
exactly.
down
Yeah,
before even the police get involved.
yeah,
That's how it works.
yes,
That's okay. I'm okay with that because that's just the right out. It's like that. You don't do that. So you do
yeah,
that, you're going to have consequence.
that's right. And that's not what's here today. It's not
Oh, I
been
know. Oh,
our
I know.
culture. It's like there,
I
it's
know.
almost like, oh
I
no,
know.
there's no consequence. We'll get away with it.
No,
Doesn't matter, you know. And so they do.
yeah. And the fact that they want to do it in that, it's a shame. I know it's different. It is different. It's broken. It's broken in that
Mm.
way. Yes. Um,
What about somebody who's not of the bloodlines going in and making home there and, you
there's
know,
tons of them,
and
expats.
they're treated the same way, like
They're
respected and
yes. Oh gosh, yes. Oh, they
yeah,
wouldn't be attacked. Is that what you're saying? That no, no,
yeah,
no, no. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. The rules apply to all. It's not,
Okay,
yeah, it's yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's there's just a lot less of that than what we're used to. I felt very threatened when I lived in New Zealand. I did. I felt very threatened by the roughness,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, it can be rough, eh? And it can be just
yeah,
kind of it's in honor, and it's
totally.
like it's
I
not
know.
like that. Yeah,
It's sad, really, because I live
can't
in a little
explain it.
coastal community, you know,
Yes, you do.
and I forget, you know, I don't even like I'm not even locking doors at night. Some night I'm just
Mm,
getting
mm,
to do that. It doesn't matter because nobody's
mm,
around
mm,
really. But like
mhm.
the other night, I couldn't sleep, and I'm like, oh, I just want to go for a walk. But it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be out on the street at this time. Not so much from the
Yeah,
community, but whoever might be just
sure.
randomly driving through it, seeing a woman walking along the street, and I didn't want to put myself in that situation.
Ex exactly.
Um,
And
and
that's
it's sad.
sad, isn't it?
It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
is. It is. And it's
Too
commonplace in many
restricting.
places. And I feel
It
like it's
is.
something special that we have to try and hold on to here. But they try and push, they try and push all these agendas on this place. Some of them slip through, and some of them they resist.
Yeah.
If they don't work for the people will resist it. I
Mm.
think they only had one lockdown here
Yeah.
that got stamped. So don't think that's going to happen again, people. Just couldn't do it.
Wow.
Just couldn't do it. So
No.
that's kind of cool. Things like that are kind of cool. Like they try it, they have to punch it through because it's EU, push to the agenda. But they don't always succeed. And I like to see that. I like to see people stand up and go, no. And then they don't get to
Absolutely.
pass through everything they want to pass
Mm.
through too. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite like yeah, they're quite
Yeah.
aware that their people are fiery and they're chill, but there's the Balkan Bloods, it's pretty there's
Mm.
stuff going on in there. Like don't always
Yeah.
you want to poke the bear all the time, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes they don't like something, they definitely do make it known in a
Mm.
way.
Mm.
I mean, it's possibly
Beautiful.
even more so in some of the other Balkan countries that don't have the EU status, like Serbia, like Bosnia. It's probably even more so there too. It's
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, it's interesting. But I love living
Yeah.
here. I love
I'd
it.
love the boycotting thing to happen here with the supermarkets.
Oh my God, how good is that?
Our living prices are just unreal. It's just insane. And I
It's
get,
insane.
we have people coming
It's
in.
worse than
And
here. It's
yeah,
worse. It's way
it's
worse
totally
in New
worse.
Zealand.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're really being targeted in respect to that, I have to say. But even Australia people coming in, whoever it is from other countries, all saying, "Oh my God, you guys are getting really ripped off here." And it's like, I know, we
Reamed.
know, but
Yeah, getting reamed.
yeah,
And it is. It's like, I mean, I can get 10 free range eggs for €3 or less,
yeah.
which is about $5 something, or not even six. Like, you know, that's cheap. And they were complaining
Oh
about that,
my
which is good
God.
because they get lower wages here. So they were. And so it's good though. I went in, I'll give you an example. I went in accidentally. I didn't know it was the boycott. And I went in one day. Oh God, I felt like a criminal in there. I was like, oh my God, why is there no one in here? And there's even the staff are like looking at you like, what are you doing shopping? And I'm like, oh my God. Like and I was like, oh my God, it's the boycott. And I was like, okay, so I only bought a bottle of water. I was like, okay. I need the water, but okay, I'm not going to buy anything else because I feel guilty. And I'm like, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So
But
cool. Yeah, no,
it's
our eggs are
worked.
up to, anywhere from 12 to $19
I
a
heard.
they're just insane, like insane. It's
So you're
ridiculous.
paying more than $1 an egg. Is that what you're
God,
saying?
it's shocking. It's
Easily.
like they're just like gold.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
love
they are like gold.
that.
You don't want to smash a couple, do
Oh
you?
no,
No. See, there's certain things I could
ridiculous.
say they're more expensive, but there's certain things here that I go, well, that's cheap. Like yeah, if I compare it, even with the exchange rate. But
Yeah,
again, earnings different.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
for
it.
sure.
But and
Yeah,
also what you're used to, they'll stomp up and down a lot faster than people in New Zealand. Well, oh no, I can't even compare. I can't even compare
no,
how the
no,
stomping.
it'll
The
be
stomping.
definitely different.
It's very different. Just
Oh,
see how the way they celebrate things, and you'll see how much there's flares, there's fireworks, there's, it's
yeah,
it's
they're
it's
loud.
oh, it's
That's great.
gorgeous. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous. Yeah,
that's
I love
really
it.
cool.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
comes from a feeling of, secure in who they are, knowing really strong
Oh,
themselves who they
united,
are. Yeah, and
united, and
yeah,
secure in who they are. Very
mm,
much so.
very
Very
cool.
much so. It is cool. It is cool. That overriding feeling. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Simone, do you work a lot from online? Do you
Yes,
or and your
yes.
retreats you run there?
Both.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Otherwise online. I'm starting another part-time role, which is completely out of this field next week to combine with this, but it is in a wellness space, but it's more in my sort of commercial capacity of my sales and that marketing
Okay.
skills.
Yeah.
Combine that with this. So yeah, workshops, retreats are physical, obviously. Most of my client work is online, but sometimes I go to client's house or they come to me if they're expats and they live here
Yeah.
and they want that in person. So sometimes I will visit them. Occasionally, I've had clients come here, and otherwise the work's done online because I can work with anyone. I work with people here. I can work with New Zealand people. I was just before this, I had a New Zealand customer online, a client, and then before that, I had a local Croatian here, but lived in Australia, expat
Yeah.
kind of thing
Wow.
online. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
mix. Yeah, it's pretty
It,
cool. It's pretty cool.
it's very cool. And I love
Yeah.
this for that, like us
Yeah.
talking, you
Yeah.
in Croatia, me here in New Zealand. It's like I love
Isn't it
that we can
great?
connect like that and
I
throughout the
know.
world, and people can
I do
actually like
too.
that. We can have those clients from all over the world. It's great. I love
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
actually.
I
Mm,
love it too. I
mm,
think it's opened up and also just flexible working, even if you do different type
yeah,
of work, like flexible way of working, like,
yeah,
you know, no
yeah.
day is the same or
No,
I'm into that. I'm really into that
mm.
because we're free spirits. And
I
this is
was
the
just
thing,
gonna
like I just took
say,
on this
we've
part-time
created
role,
it.
but I
Yeah,
have to have it. I have to have it work for me. I'm like, if
yeah,
you're gonna stamp on any sort of flexibility, I'm like, I'm back here. Yes, there's things I got to attend, of course, normal.
yes.
But then I want to be able to go, okay, I've been on the island all day, whatever. Right, I'm gonna work from home tomorrow. I'm gonna do this. Like it's gotta work.
Mm,
Otherwise people like us, it's like it just
yeah,
stamps the spirit and there's too much out there that we're dealing with right now, right? You know what I'm saying, with what's been thrown
yeah,
at us from
yeah.
both inorganic and organic. But it's
Mm,
like it's too much and
yeah.
you need to have that time to I must say though, I have more energy here, Mandy. I
Yes.
don't know whether it's the DNA thing, but I think I have more energy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I do. I think I do. It's strange.
You
Whether
got
it's the
all the
water.
towers and stuff. Like, have you
Yeah, we've
been
got the towers. We've got the
on that?
towers. I
And we got them everywhere.
Oh
They
no,
just,
the 5Gs. There's 5G here everywhere, but the one thing I think what it could be is the food and the water.
mm,
The food and the water, and that's the DNA link too. But the water comes from the mountains, and so it's got all that. Like we have to descale our jug all the time and stuff because there's just the lime and like so there's like more of and yeah, happy could have something to do with it. I
yeah,
still get tired, but able to.
yeah.
There's such a
You're
funny
home.
little. Yeah, maybe that's it. I am home. As much as I grew up in a totally different way, I am home in my soul and in
Yeah,
my family line. I have such beautiful family here. Really,
yeah.
really like lovely little setup we're creating for sure.
Mm. It's so
Yeah, so it's
lovely to
cool.
hear because
It
it's so
is. It is.
important. Like, it really is important. And I
It's,
know
it's
home,
everything.
it is everything. And home's not always where you grew up or where you're from, bloodline, whatever. It's really
No,
about being here, eh? And here. It's
fully,
really important. But if
fully.
you've got that
And
community with you in that space,
yeah,
it's a,
yeah, yeah, it is and whether you have to shift physical reality to find that home or whether it's
yeah,
whatever you shift, yeah, yeah, even my family here are just so delightful. It's like all
mm,
dad's brothers and their kids and that it's delightful. So it's your life is a combination of that, and then I have friends who are like from New York, expat, like who I hang out with. Like
yeah,
it's really it's totally it's great. It's great. And you get better and get better and better at my language. It's
yeah,
not an easy language. And we learned it growing up, but we learned it very it's all very blah, basic and that. And
yeah,
obviously you just have to get to that. Yeah, when you live in a place. So yeah, so no, it's cool. It's cool. It's very cool. It's very
yeah.
interesting. Feels like a
It's,
whole other world away sometimes when I think of my other life.
yeah,
You know
I
how
bet.
that feels now anyway?
Yeah,
It just
yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. I know. I,
That's
yeah,
timelines and stuff now though, eh? Yeah.
yeah. It's
It feels like
actually
chunks are
like,
gone.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely
Mm.
that. And
Mhm.
and I was sort of feeling funny about not having an emotion around it either. Like being actually not
Yes.
attached emotionally to
Yes.
any of it.
Me
It's like I
too.
can
You
let that
almost say, am
go.
I callous? Am I callous? Am
Yes.
I but it's not that.
No, it
It's
isn't.
not.
It's not at all. And it's
No.
it's beautiful, it's freeing, it's lovely, and
Yeah.
we've bloody worked hard to get there. That's all I know. So I
Crikey.
don't know
So I
how
was
many
just going to
times we
say, and we
dive
worked
so
really
deeply into
hard.
it, you know, and
Totally. And you work hard, and
we
when you come in
do.
environments and you sort of see aspects of toxic, I'm like, look, dude, I've worked really hard on my energy. I'm like, this where I'll have my boundary.
Yeah,
Da 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 da. Because I've
absolutely.
worked for that. And
Yeah,
and it's like you just damn well haven't yet. So, and that's cool.
yeah,
That's all part of this work.
exactly.
It's part of
Yeah,
stepping in your fierce when you need to, and
absolutely.
sticking that wall up, or
Yeah,
whatever that boundary, or
yeah. And
it's
I think
important,
it's time, like as we all are in a sense, like claiming that now, claiming that we've done this,
Oh,
we did all that, we've been there, done all that, and we're now at this stage here, whatever that
yes,
stage is. All of us will be a bit
yes,
different, but we've
yes,
bloody worked hard to get here, and it's
yes,
time now to step into that, really claim it, and and
yes,
really look at where from here, because we've done all that. We don't need to experience
yes.
that anymore. It's like, what else?
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. Fully, fully.
What
What
else?
else? And how that shows up and how people respond to your energy. And like you can imagine here, like you can imagine here even that how different, me and my sister Turner, and we do this kind of work in it and we're like Croatian, but then we're born in the West and then there's all these elements. It's just like they just think it's fascinating. It's such a different vibe. So you kind of have this, I don't know, but it's that plus something, right? That what
It's,
you just spoke
yeah.
of, and
Mhm.
some,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're so different in the way
Mhm.
you know, you might look like you know what I mean, but then
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
this element, and I think I'm really grateful, and I'm really grateful for not only where I grew
Yeah.
up, but where I lived. I lived all over the world. I lived in Australia and in New York, London, did it so many years in my 20s and that, in my 20s mainly. And I'm so grateful because to have that and to know it, how it
Mhm.
was then before all this as well, and then to come and live like this is just such a blessing. I'm quite
Mhm.
happy I can just go walk up into the olive grove in the mountain and go la di da. I'm
Mhm.
quite happy. I don't need
Yeah.
that, you don't need that. And it's not just age, it's a shift in time, it's a shift in the
As,
world. And I
yeah.
feel like, yeah, it's a time to be quite localized, I feel, or quite sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but really choosing your life in a way, free-spirited, but sort of grounded, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And it
Yeah,
blends. There's a
yeah.
blend now, which
Yeah,
and
there
that's
is a
because
blend.
we have, and we're not looking outside of ourselves now for what it is that makes us happy any longer. We are happy. We are in that
Yeah.
blissful space within self that just adds that to the
Oh,
environment we're standing in, and
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
gorgeous
It's so
thing.
gorgeous.
It is. I
It's
love it.
gorgeous, eh? It's contained. It's
Mhm.
self-contained and it's just gorgeous. And
Yeah.
people feel that, boy,
I
they feel
do.
that. Whether
Mhm.
they like it or not, they feel it.
Yeah,
And
for
that
sure.
is a beautiful, gentle, powerful place to come from. You
Yeah.
know, I love it.
Oh,
I love
Simone,
it.
thank you
It's
so
magic.
much for coming in and having this chat. It's been lovely. And I
Absolutely.
feel this drop in there, like we've dropped into this beautiful
Yeah.
place within. And it's
Yummy.
just
Yeah.
that it is yummy. Yep. So
It
thank
is
you
yummy.
so
It is
much. And
totally
so
yummy.
for anyone to find you, how do people find you, Simone?
Well, my website is still being we're just working on that. So that's down at the moment. So Instagram or Facebook. I mean, Instagram's probably the easiest. My tag is like at awaken underscore with underscore Simone. So I mean, you can pop, I can give you my tags
Yeah,
to
I'll
pop in
tag it.
the
We know.
in
Yeah.
the thingy with this. And obviously my Facebook is whatever it is, but you can tag that in. I don't even know. I think it's just my name. Just to look how good
Yeah.
I am. And my website's down right now, but it will be back up in the next month or so, and that's www.awakenwithsimone.com. That's probably the best way to reach me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm loving the work. I'm doing a load of work around all sorts of stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
DNA stuff. Yeah, just really interesting stuff. So really
Mm.
strong. So that's cool. It's cool.
It is. It is very cool. And thank you
Perfect.
so much for
Yeah.
all you've been doing.
Thank
You
you.
know, this
And yourself
intimate,
too.
oh, thank you. This intimate conversations was to highlight those who've been holding this vibration and you know, light for the
Yeah.
planet and humanity for a very long
Yeah.
time and forever. Amen. And I just
There. I'm in. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yeah.
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 So, you know, we just wanted to have this chat and bring you into that space for
Yeah.
people to find you and all of that. And
Thank you, Mandy.
so thank you so, so much for saying yes. And yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
much, much love to you,
Yeah. Thank you
man.
for having me. To
So
you
much.
too. And thanks so much for having me.
You're so welcome.
Awesome. Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Bye.